James Clear's book, Atomic Habits, presents the concept of the 2-minute rule, which is a simple and effective strategy for creating new habits and overcoming procrastination. The idea is that often the task itself is not difficult, but the idea of starting is daunting. Therefore, the 2-minute rule involves breaking the task down into an activity that can be done in just 2 minutes, making it more accessible and less intimidating. For example, if you want to start exercising, instead of saying, "I'm going to the gym for an hour," say, "I'm going to put on my sneakers and walk for 2 minutes." After 2 minutes, you can decide whether to continue or not, but the idea is that once you've started, you're more likely to follow through and complete the task. The 2-minute rule can be applied to any habit you want to create or change. Rather than trying to change everything at once, start with small changes that you can maintain over the long term. Instead of trying to meditate for 30 minutes a day, start with 2 minutes. Instead of trying to write an entire book at once, write just 1 page a day. Additionally, the 2-minute rule can be combined with the idea of habit stacking, which is the practice of associating a new habit with an existing habit. For example, if you want to read more, you can associate that habit with something you already do every day, such as having breakfast. Instead of just having breakfast, you can say, "I'm going to have breakfast while reading 2 pages. Other examples include starting to exercise by saying, "I'm going to put on my sneakers and walk for 2 minutes, instead of, "I'm going to the gym for an hour," or starting to meditate by saying, "I'm going to meditate for 2 minutes, instead of, "I'm going to meditate for 30 minutes a day." By stacking a new habit on top of an existing habit and using the 2-minute rule to make the task more accessible, you increase your chances of creating a lasting new habit and making habit change easier and more sustainable. Overall, Atomic Habits is a practical, evidence-based guide for creating positive habits and breaking negative ones. Clear explains that habits are the foundation of our daily lives and that the way we repeatedly act defines who we are and what we achieve. He presents the concept that habits are composed of 4 stages: cue, craving, response, and reward, and that changing a habit involves changing one or more of these stages. Clear also emphasizes the importance of creating an environment that facilitates desired habits and makes undesired ones difficult, as well as making small continuous improvements rather than large radical changes. The book also addresses the importance of keeping track of and monitoring habits, adopting a growth mindset rather than focusing solely on immediate results, and provide strategies for overcoming procrastination and dealing with interruptions, as well as tips for maintaining motivation and discipline. Overall, Atomic Habits is a comprehensive and practical guide for anyone looking to create positive habits and achieve their goals consistently and sustainably. There are several strategies for creating positive habits. Start with small changes. Instead of trying to change everything at once, start with small changes that you can maintain in the long term. For example, instead of trying to meditate for 30 minutes a day, start with 2 minutes. Instead of trying to write a whole book at once, write just 1 page a day. Use the 2-minute rule. The 2-minute rule involves breaking a task into an activity that can be done in just 2 minutes, making it more accessible and less intimidating. For example, if you want to start exercising, instead of saying, "I'm going to the gym for an hour," say, "I'm going to put on my sneakers and walk for 2 minutes." Create an enabling environment. Create an environment that facilitates desired habits and makes undesired habits more difficult. For example, if you want to exercise more, keep your running shoes in a visible and easily accessible place. Make small continuous improvements. Instead of making radical changes, make small continuous improvements. For example, instead of trying to lose 10 pounds in a month, try to lose 500 grams per week. Keep a record and monitor your habits. Keep a record and monitor your habits to track your progress and make necessary adjustments. Have a growth mindset. Have a growth mindset, not a focus on immediate results. Instead of focusing solely on results, focus on becoming a better person every day. Deal with interruptions. Anticipate and plan for interruptions that may arise on your path to creating habits and have an action plan to deal with them. Creating an environment that facilitates desired habits and makes undesired habits more difficult is an important strategy for making habit change easier and more sustainable. If the environment around you favors undesired habits, it is harder to create positive habits. For example, if you want to stop eating unhealthy foods but have many unhealthy foods in your home, it can be difficult to resist temptation. On the other hand, if you create an environment that facilitates desired habits, it is more likely that you will follow through with them. For example, if you want to start running in the morning, keeping your running clothes beside your bed, setting an alarm to wake up earlier, and planning a route in advance will all help facilitate the creation of that habit. It is also important to make undesired habits more difficult. For example, if you want to stop using your phone before bedtime, leave your phone outside of your bedroom at night. If you want to quit smoking, avoid being around people who smoke or environments that promote smoking. By creating an environment that facilitates desired habits and makes undesired habits more difficult, you make it easier and more natural to follow these habits and less likely to give in to temptation. This can make habit change easier and more sustainable in the long run. Keeping a record and monitoring habits can be done in various ways, depending on individual preferences and styles. Some suggestions include creating a habit journal. Write down the habits you want to create or change and track your daily progress. For example, you can note how many pages of a book you read or how many minutes you meditated in a day. Using habit tracking apps. There are many apps available that can help monitor your habits. They usually allow you to set daily or weekly goals and track your progress over time. Using tracking spreadsheets. Spreadsheets can be a useful way to track your habits. You can create a simple spreadsheet with a list of habits and a column to check off each time you complete them. Regarding the growth mindset, it is important to keep in mind that changing habits is a continuous process that takes time. It is not realistic to expect immediate results or instant perfection. Instead, focus on gradually progressing and improving every day. It is important to remember that even small improvements over time can lead to big changes. Additionally, try to focus on the process of creating habits rather than just the end results. Focus on building healthy and sustainable habits that can be maintained long-term, instead of just aiming for a specific goal. This will help to create a growth mindset and make changing habits easier and more sustainable in the long run. Don't forget to give us a like and follow our YouTube channel. In addition to book summaries, we also offer practical tips to improve your productivity, enhance your communication skills, and improve your mental health. So if you're looking for quality content that can help you grow and develop, follow our channel now.